What's up, WWE Universe? Clash Zone Media here, bringing you the latest match updates and breaking news. Hit the bell and stay tuned. What unfolded on Monday Night Raw this week was one of the most explosive storyline twists fans have witnessed in years. Just when the WWE Universe thought the Liv Morgan-Dominik Mysterio saga had reached its boiling point, the writers cranked the heat even higher with a moment so cold, so calculated, and so unexpectedly ruthless that it left the entire arena stunned. It wasn't just drama, it was a masterclass in emotional storytelling, and it all revolved around Liv Morgan's months of sacrifice unraveling in a single devastating moment. Liv Morgan's sacrifice and transformation. For months, Liv Morgan has undergone one of the most dramatic character evolutions on the roster. She went from beloved underdog to polarizing figure, from fan favorite to full-blown antagonist, and she did it all because she became entangled with Dominik Mysterio. She turned the WWE Universe against her, fractured her friendship with Rhea Ripley, and committed herself entirely to a toxic back-and-forth relationship that left her reputation hanging by a thread. Every action she took, every risk she embraced, was rooted in the belief that Dominik was worth the fallout. The rise and fall of Dominik and Rhea's alliance. Before Liv ever stepped into the picture, Dominik and Rhea were a force. Their alliance turned Dominik from an unsteady rookie into one of the most talked-about villains in WWE. Rhea molded him, protected him, and gave him the edge he desperately needed. But when Liv entered the storyline, everything changed. Through clever manipulation and sheer persistence, she drove a wedge between Dominik and Rhea, slowly dismantling one of Raw's most dominant partnerships. And the craziest part? It worked, at least on the surface. Liv's confidence. Heading into Raw. Heading into this week's Raw, Liv Morgan looked untouchable. She walked through the backstage corridors with the swagger of someone who believed she had it all: momentum, championship gold, and Dominik Mysterio firmly in her corner. She stepped into the ring for her promo radiating confidence, boasting about her success and praising Dominik as her partner, her support system, her ride or die. The fans booed relentlessly, but Liv fed off it. She was proud of what she built and convinced it was unbreakable. Dominik's entrance that changed everything. When Liv called Dominik to the ring, something felt off immediately. Gone was the signature smirk, the cocky stride, the trademark swagger that made Dirty Dom instantly recognizable. Instead, he came down the ramp with a somber expression and an energy that set the audience on edge. Even without a single word spoken, fans sensed that something major was about to go down. Liv reached out to embrace him like she always did, but he stood stiff, unresponsive, cold, almost numb. Liv's confusion meets Dominik's coldness. The confusion on Liv's face was painfully clear. This wasn't the Dominik she thought she knew. She cupped his face, searching for answers, but he pulled away with a dismissive shrug. The arena fell silent, tension rising by the second. Liv looked desperate for reassurance, desperate for some sign that their connection wasn't crumbling right before her eyes. But Dominik remained emotionless, giving nothing away until he slowly raised a microphone. Dominik's cruel revelation. Then came the bombshell. In a chilling, calculated promo, Dominik admitted that everything between them had been part of a strategy. He claimed that their alliance was never about love or loyalty. It was about positioning himself as a stronger singles competitor. Every moment, every kiss, every promo they shared, he framed as a stepping stone he used to carve his own path. He accused Liv of being naive, for believing their partnership meant something deeper, and the words hit like daggers. The emotional collapse of Liv Morgan. Liv's reaction made the moment even more dramatic. Her face crumpled, her voice cracked, and she seemed to physically shrink as Dominik's words continued cutting into her pride and her heart. For all her manipulative tactics and questionable choices over the summer, there was no denying the sincerity of her emotions in that moment. The betrayal was written all over her trembling hands and tear-filled eyes, turning her into one of the most sympathetic figures WWE has featured in months. The lights go out and Rhea Ripley appears. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't escalate further, the lights went out. When they returned, Rhea Ripley stood at the top of the ramp. the crowd erupted instantly. After months out of the picture, Rhea returned like a storm, ready to reclaim everything that had been taken from her. She slowly walked toward the ring with a smirk that conveyed both vengeance and satisfaction, making it clear she had been waiting for this moment. Dominik and Rhea reunite in cold, calculated fashion. When Rhea stepped into the ring and stood beside Dominik, raising his hand in victory, the betrayal became undeniable. This wasn't a last-minute change of heart. This was planned, coordinated, a slow burn executed with precision. Rhea and Dominik had outplayed Liv on every level, using her own manipulative tendencies against her to orchestrate a moment of maximum impact. It wasn't physical destruction, but emotionally and psychologically, it was devastating. The WWE Universe reacts in shock. The arena was split in half. Some fans cheered Rhea's revenge, celebrating the reunion of one of WWE's most powerful duos. Others rallied behind Liv, despite her past actions, sympathizing with her heartbreak and humiliation. Online, fans exploded with theories, debates, and emotional reactions. Some called it brilliant storytelling. Others argued it pushed boundaries. But no matter which side anyone was on, one thing was clear. Everyone was talking about it. Liv Morgan's path forward. Liv Morgan now stands at a crossroads in her character journey. This betrayal sets the stage for a potential redemption arc unlike anything she's ever experienced. She could seek revenge, rebuild herself from the ground up, or transform into a darker, more dangerous version of herself. Her future is filled with possibilities, and her response will define her next chapter in WWE. What's next for Dominik Mysterio and Rhea Ripley? Dominik's actions have solidified him as one of the most despised heels in modern WWE storytelling. Rhea, on the other hand, reclaims her position as the calculating powerhouse of Raw. Together, they have the potential to dominate the division with renewed strength, or implode under the weight of their own manipulations. Their alliance could be unstoppable, but in WWE, trust between villains rarely lasts forever. The ripple effects across the roster. This storyline doesn't just impact the three performers involved. It sends shockwaves across the entire Raw roster. Alliances could shift, rivalries could intensify. New storylines may intersect with this one. With Dominik becoming more despised than ever, every babyface in the company suddenly has a reason to come after him. Rhea's return also raises questions about her next opponent and whether she plans to reclaim the throne she once held. A storyline we won't forget anytime soon. No matter how fans interpret the events on Raw, there's no denying this was one of the most compelling and emotionally charged segments of the year. It blended drama, betrayal, long-term storytelling, and character evolution into a moment people will talk about for a long time. Love it or hate it, it was unforgettable. And that's exactly what great wrestling storytelling is meant to be.